You're watching Midday Live. It's now time for us to do business and talking about energy. Effective 16th April 2014, the price of diesel has been reduced by 4%. The new price now stands at 2 Ghana cedis 68 pesos per litre from the previous 2 Ghana cedis 79 pesos per litre. But information gathered is that the reduction would affect government coffers looking at the current economic challenges. So effective 16th April 2014, the price of diesel has been reduced by 4%. Now the new price stands at 2 Ghana cedis 68 pesos per litre from the previous 2 Ghana cedis 79 pesos per litre. And we're being joined on the line this afternoon by Peter Mewu, who is with the Africa Center for Energy Policy. Good afternoon to you, sir, and thanks for joining us on Midday Live.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Okay. Now, consumers would want to know reasons why we saw the reduction only on diesel but not the other petroleum products.
Well, first of all, I think it's important to realize that crude oil prices in the international market had not come down at all in terms of pricing. Prices have been quite stable, within the past 2 weeks. I think the decision now for this is basically political. You agree with me that about 80% of our transportation, actually goes into diesel, and the other 20% is mostly used by the private cars, which normally rely on petrol. What is important is that in arriving at the automatic price adjustment formula, one of the critical trigger points has to do with the currency exchange differential. We say each time and again that is the major cause of the constant automatic adjustment formula that we are witnessing as a result of the currency exchange differential. So government might have done this basically, number one, to reduce the pressure on transportation costs, because this eventually builds into our food prices, which eventually increase inflation. So I think that strategically, government would want to alleviate the suffering on Ghanaians by taking off that reduction of 4% from the diesel.
But if you link this to commercial vehicles, this morning a reporter was on the ground touring some stations. The prices have not changed in terms of transport fares; they are still the same.
Yes, that is the difficult aspect of the constant triggering of the automatic adjustment formula, because it doesn't go along with transportation at the same time. If you increase or you reduce, based on negotiation, transportation hardly correspond in terms of response. And so it will be very difficult now to say that because 4% reduction of diesel is witnessed, transport drivers would equally have to do that. Don't forget, when the prices were increased to about 12%, the transportation sector was not allowed to make any increment based on the fact that we have witnessed increases in this prices. So I think the reduction is just to make up for that difference.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Peter Mewu with the Africa Center for Energy Policy, giving us reasons as to why we had only diesel reducing by 4%. Well, we move on from energy. And the director of the Inspectorate Division at the Ghana Standards Authority, Eugene Adakwadai, says banning of textiles will continue if that will be the only alternative of bringing sanity into the textile industry. Now, the task force on the seizure and disposal of pirated Ghanaian textiles is also set to resume its operations at the market soon. The operations of the task force was put on hold to enable the business community, particularly those involved in the textiles and garments business, to be updated on the relevance of the work of the task force after continuous education on differentiating genuine textiles from pirated ones. The task force is set to resume.
When the president said strengthen the borders, he was only asking custom to be more responsible in policing the borders and in ensuring that pirated textile, we've declared zero tolerance for it. We don't want it undermining our textile industry. we will again engage with the task force and allow them to consider again that we will not allow our markets to be flooded with pirated textiles.
The director of the Inspectorate Division at the Ghana Standards Authority, Eugene Adakwadai, stressed the authorities were not against the importation or trading in textiles, but the plagiarizing of designs.
If you are an importer of African textile print, you have to register with the Ghana Standards Authority. You submit samples of your designs for vetting. The samples, when they have been submitted, will be vetted to find out whether they are still the property rights of a local manufacturer.
So are we likely to see more banning of pirated textiles, and how is the exercise going to look like? We're being joined in the studios by John Kwesi Amoah. He's a member of the Anti-Textiles Piracy Task Force. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
On Midday Live. Well, we want to really find out how soon. Yesterday, the minister as well as the director of the Inspectorate Division at the Ghana Standards Authority said you're coming out soon. How soon is soon?
Thank you very much. I think how soon that it will be the minister who will announce the time that the task force will resume their market operation seizure of the pirated goods. But at the moment, the task force is still at work. The task force is embarking on a market sensitization program that was in line of the president directive that gave the other time that the task force should rather hold on the market seizure, but rather go to market and educate the woman, the traders, for them to know the difference between the pirated and the original. And how effective has this sensitization been for both the consumer and then the market woman? Yeah, I think most of the times consumer will go to market to buy a particular brand of textiles, but then at the end of the day, some may end up buying something different. Now, the traders, some of them will also complain that they didn't know, because some of them, especially the retailers, some distributors actually give them this kind of product to sell, and most of the time they claim that they didn't know that they were selling pirated. Now we've been to them. We started from Cape Coast, Central Region. We went to Mankasim, Cape Coast. We continued to Western Region, Takoradi, Agran Kwanta, Elubo. Okay. Then we continue. So now we've done with I think 6 regions, left with 4, and God willing, from 28th of this month we continue. Okay. Now we talk about bringing sanity into the textile industry and looking at the task force on the seizure and disposal of pirated textiles. Should the task force come to force or resume, are we going to see the same principles used, or there's going to be modification with the principles you carry out your business? Yes, I think we'll continue with the same principle, because the task force, we go to market and it's just a matter of we go there to scan. We see if there's a imitation textiles print, we seize them. Now the law says that is the only way now for us to do. When you impound on any pirated textiles print, you can't use it for any other use. You know, you have to ban them, and so that's the law. So we still stick to banning, because nothing has changed within the law. So since it is like, because if we do otherwise, since we are also member of WTO regulations, now when we seize them and we use them for other purpose. But seizure and banning, is that the best alternative out? Yes, because you know, for now, yes, it is the best alternative, because for now, okay, it is. For now, it is because it's a pirated material, and you know, pirated goods, nobody should use them, and the best way is to ban them. So for now it is, and we'll continue like that until maybe something changes in the law. You know, we are talking about the law. All what we are doing is by the law. So if we do contrary to the law, the state itself will also have a problem by the international community. All right. Thank you so much for your time. John Kwesi Amoah is a member of the Anti-Textiles Piracy Task Force, and we understand that the task force on the seizure and disposal of pirated Ghanaian textiles would soon resume, and the banning would continue.